Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Jason Allen Jankowski, and this is my weekly performance summary. I'm going to show you how well I did for the week in my personal accounts and using my net winning trader protocols. This week ends on the 23rd, which is today, of course, Saturday the 23rd. Um, and I'm going to be doing this every week. I just got back from last week. I got back from the weekend in Chicago, so I had to put my weekly performance summary up on Friday morning as opposed to Saturday morning. I'd rather do it on Saturdays, of course, for you because in the week the markets are closed. You know, we're done. We finished up on Friday afternoon, so that's what we're going to do from here on out. Last week was just kind of an anomaly. So let's take a look at the numbers. Now, bear in mind, there wasn't really a whole lot going on last week, really, um, except for Friday when we had pretty interesting announcement from the Federal Reserve Chairman. Well, I wouldn't say it was an announcement. It was more like, what's going to happen. And people, of course, speculating all over the world what that means. You and I already know it doesn't mean anything. Just a lot of blathering and hot air. What's it going to do? Nothing. It's not going to do anything. The markets are going to do what they've always done, go up and go down based on order flow. So that's all we look for. So let's take a look at the numbers for trading. And this is on closed trades. And closed trades, for those of you that haven't been following me very long, the important thing you understand, when I get positioned in something, my intention is to hold it forever. So getting into position might take 3 or 4 times. But once I'm there, we hold that. That's what happened this week. So we got a bunch of positions on, only 7 trades. In and out, in and out, in and out, trying to get position. But once we got those positions on, we held them. So these trades didn't work. 2 were losers from the long side, 4 were losers from the short side. Total pips lost 241.9. Only one of them was a winner, and it wasn't even supposed to be a winner. It was 21.8 pips from the short side, and that's a total of 7 trades, 1 winner. It's, when you look at the numbers, it's horrible numbers. So we lost 241. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not right, is it? It's 220.1. Forgot. Oops, can't do that. Got it. I'll have to change that. It's 220 pips we lost for the week. Um, so anyway, holding open trades, pounds nothing. We did have a signal and my automation placed a buy limit order, but that trade was never hit. So we missed the long position in pounds. Holding long euro at the bottom for the week, up 131.6 into the weekend, looking to add to that position next week. Same is true for yen shorts, 176 on that one, looking to add to it. And Canadian dollar shorts. That's a very small trade, 64 points, but we'll take it so far. So open trade equity is currently holding at 371.9. 220 was what I gave back. So still net to the good, about 150 points for the week so far. Next week, of course, we're looking for a place to add to these 3 positions, maybe get pounds if we can. And then, of course, let these work as long as we can let them work. And hopefully they'll be on for a few weeks. And, of course, as I have told you 100 times before, maybe you don't understand how it works, but I use the price agnostic method. And that means that we'll be looking to put the other side of these trades on at some point and then manage them both independently for wherever the market's going to go. So let's take a look at the chart so you can see how the toolbox got us positioned. Our first one is pounds. And as you can see on pounds, it's mostly moving lower. Here's our first losing trade for the week in pounds right here. Went long on the X. Nothing happened. You can see that the trend signals worked beautifully for most of the week into Friday. These would have been taken off once the market closed above the 100 bar moving average, which is the red line here. Down here, it would normally appear you'd see the signal here, but on the charts that I use for managing the trades, that's a separate screen, separate piece of software. That's from Genesis Financial Technologies, this Trade Navigator. And my execution platform is running the software to execute. So often there are times when there's a signal on the execution platform that doesn't quite fire on the management platform. And that's what happened here. There was an X reversal down here on the execution platform that doesn't show here. So we were waiting to get filled down here near the bottom, and the market just took off and never came back. Of course, this is the big move. Would have been nice, another 200 points in it for us, but it is what it is. Euro, a little nicer action. Again, same issue. At the bottom, right here, this was an X reversal on the execution platform, nothing on the management platform. And again, you can see the trend signals were working quite nicely during the week. Would have been out once the market crossed this line anyway, but there it is. Yen, big move on yen, and you can see yen, this is where a couple of losses came from this week. Trying to get positioned on the short side. Our first X position here, this actually was the only winner for the week. We got short on here, and the market gave us an open trade gain, began rolling stops down to lock that trade in, of course, because we had no idea what was going to happen. Market was taken out as the stop was hit for a small gain. And then, of course, X reversal here didn't work, but this one up here did. It worked beautifully, actually. We're short from the high, 148. I think, what's our short? 84, 85? Let me look again. 148.72. Oh, my fault. Right in here. But anyway. So the good news is we're holding that short, and stops are rolled down, locked in positions. There's nothing to do but wait. We're going to look to add. And then Canada, really the smallest mover for the week. This what looks like this big move lower. This is only 60 points. It's not really a big move. It hasn't even really closed below the 200 bar moving average, which, quite frankly, on a long-term position, you'd still be long. But we're short now from these signals up on top. We'll see where this goes. So we're looking to add to the short side. If the long side comes on, fine, we'll take it and we'll manage them independently. Now, the important issue I just wanted to share with you guys, on all of these charts, the market went to the weekly opening range and went back to the other side of it. So on a Friday, to go to the weekly opening range, cross it, and stay on the other side of it. In other words, the market was trending lower, and then it rallied on a Friday, making the low print for the week on a Friday, the high print on a Friday, and close in that area going through the opening range. What does that mean? Well, it means sentiment has probably changed. So if the sentiment for the dollar was moving higher, and then, okay, I don't want to use that term moving higher or even bullish. I should say this. When the sentiment for the dollar was in one direction, and that kind of price action occurs in a very short period of time, it typically means both sides quit or change their minds. In other words, the bulls got more excited and the bears got less enthusiastic. So what does that mean? Well, when that happens, the market becomes highly bullish after being bearish, right? Both sides decided something changed. So that kind of aggressive change in sentiment typically takes a couple of weeks to work through the system. If that's the case, then we could have another move in the dollar lower through next week. That's what we were looking for to add to it. So we'll see. It's like anything else. We don't know until it gets there. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you for taking a few extra minutes. I appreciate you taking time every week to watch my Daily Traders Discipline, which I put out every Monday through Friday at about before 7. For those of you that are brand new listeners and don't know about that, please have a look. It's on YouTube. You can also get it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's the Trader's Daily Discipline from netwinningtrader.com. Um, that being said, every Saturday this will be up here. If you're a serious trader, consider yourself a serious trader. You want to learn better tools. You want to learn how to use those better tools even better. That's what I'm here for. Please come see me at netwinningtrader.com. Don't forget, I'm available every day, real person. You can coach with me, train with me, mentor with me anytime you want. And I also have office hours every Friday morning, just for people that want to show up. You can get an appointment, 15-minute appointment anytime you want on Calendly. So if you're interested, feel free. And then I'll be posting again regularly. Don't forget, if you decide you want to own a lifetime membership to netwinningtrader.com, once you do that, I'm going to give you an entire year free membership to the Market Mastery Meetup, which is my online exclusive community for traders only. So if you're trading futures, options, or Forex, and you decide you want to use the protocols that are available at NetWinning Trader, which is some pretty important stuff. If you like that and you begin using it, I'm going to give you a whole year of time. We're going to work with other like-minded people to get better equipped to do this. And I think those protocols, all that data that I've got there, plus 1 year of hand holding, free. This is going to be your best year ever, but you got to get involved. All right, guys, that's it. I will check with you next Saturday. In between now and then, of course, don't forget Monday is our next broadcast. Best 5 to 8 minutes to start your day. Traders Daily Discipline. So I'll see you there. Have a good weekend.